Greetings to you. This is Brother Salih, I guess representing the Zeptepi Institute. And what we're doing today, man, is going around and talking to people about what I think is an important topic, right? The topic is the sanctity of human life. And the reason why the topic I believe is important to discuss now is the manner in which our own people are taking each other's lives. I mean, it's like, I mean, every night on the news is shooting after shooting after shooting. And, you got enough people wanting to kill you. You ain't got to kill yourself, too. You know what I mean? At least give them a little bit of rumble. But the bottom line is we got to reevaluate what human life is, the value of it, and our own. You know what I mean? Because certain things, when you do it, you do some damage to yourself that oftentimes it may not be irreparable. You know what I mean? And when I say damage, I'm talking about psychological damage that might, be a result of trauma or whatever, right? But the sanctity of human life is a topic that I think is something we might want to look at because just think about what life is. I mean, that I'm able to look out this shell of my body, right, and perceive a world. Look, a wonderful world with oceans and all kinds of stuff in it, all kinds of living creatures. This is what, and I am existing and knowing that I exist. My consciousness is existing in this body, and I know I exist. That's what we talk about when we talk about life. And that life that we all share is a divine thing. Those of you that are students of Scripture, I mean, it makes it real clear. It says that God Himself breathed into the nostrils of the man the breath of life, and he became a quickened or living soul. So, I mean, it's telling us clearly that in I guess, breath is the divine being. And that's why when you look at scripture and study it, the symbolisms that got to do with breath are really the ones that sit out there. And that science of how to, I guess, receive or become at a certain state of being where you can then interact with other aspects of your own self. Talking about force and power that exists in the realm of the world that we live in. Well, I better ask some other people before I scare your ass to death. Talking like I'm talking, right? But the truth is, we're talking about the sanctity of human life, right? We have to start respecting it again if we want to change. You know what I mean? If we're all right with things as they are, then just leave it like it is. But if you want to see a change, at least in how we regard each other, you know what I mean, and how we respect each other's lives. This might be a work that need to be done or something that may need to be thought about. You know what I'm saying? So the question is, what do you think about the sanctity of human life? I'm going to turn it over here to the brother man who's next to me. Let him introduce himself. Can you get it? You got it? Hmm?
Brother Wale, I think the sanctity of life is trying to protect yourself and the people around you and the thing that's going on in the world today. We definitely need some good brothers to come together to try to stop the violence and the killing and all the things that's going around. And the only way we can do that is to come together as one
Right.
and try to see what we can do with the younger generation that's being led by all this false propaganda, homosexuality, and all the things that's going around in the world. They're trying to destroy our seed
That's right.
in our mind. So the only way we could do that is we got to be able to get ourselves together first,
That's right.
and then after that, we'll be able to lead the next generation.
Okay. All right, black man. Let me move it on to my brother here. Let him introduce himself. Y'all all know this nigga anyway.
And dig him. Check this out. The understanding right there, what they giving you, right, is the thing that you got to understand, right? Because if you don't understand, you know it's going to happen. We keep looking for ways out. We got brothers around here, right, that's thinking that everything is about the dollar and what we trying to do. But I'm saying to me, right, first you got to understand, right? Because if you don't understand me, I know you ain't going to follow um, a brother like him and a brother like my man just spoke. But I'm telling you, right, you got to come together. Because if we don't, right, it's going to keep going on. I know when I was young, it wasn't nothing like this here. You know what I mean? And y'all, anybody that's older, know it. But I'm saying they ain't giving it up. You know what I mean? When I was coming up, you know what they used to tell me? You got to pay to get what I got. And I didn't understand it then, right? But I understand it now. And y'all ain't looking for it. Y'all ain't looking for the truth at all. So like I always say, right? It got to get better. Or if it don't get better, it's gonna be just like him. And I'm gonna give him to you.
Go ahead.
Hey, I'm Chicken Wing. I'm still trying to figure it out. Okay,
You
so
right about
on
that.
that note, I'm gonna listen to the rest of the brothers and see what they're saying, so I can figure it out still, and get some good stuff from them.
All right.
And you know what he
And
just
regardless
said.
of what that guy said too, when he first talking.
Hey, man. It says in the scripture, right? It says how beautiful it is when, I guess it says those come together, right? And it talks about it being like the dew that ran down the beard of Aaron. You know what I mean? And in that, it's actually talking about a spiritual process where I guess, the cerebral spinal fluid that's in your spine and your nervous system, where it goes through a process. You know what I mean? It goes through a process and can begin to cause, I guess, other parts of your brain and your neurons to come back online, cause something that cause they call it enlightenment, right? When all of a sudden a new like a bolt of lightning or a jolt or a certain burst of knowledge and information and light come your way. And that happens when, like, the whole spiritual process of using trance and all those kinds of things, meditation, it actually causes different aspects of the brain to then work together with each other. The very thing that the brothers have been talking about is unity. When the brain begins to unify, instead of operating as a polarity, as opposites, then it turns on other circuits and more neurons come to play in your cognitive process. So, I mean, this is not only something that involves like just the increase of your awareness or your consciousness, right? But it also involves the amount of energy that you generate as a person. You know, we all vibrate. That's the science. You know, science has proved now that everything is vibrating, right? And we are vibrating, and we're vibrating a form of light that's the highest form of light. See, cognition is higher than sunlight. Thought energy is a higher form of light than sunlight or any other lower form of light. So when your consciousness raised, so does the energy. So I think in the Bible they showed Jesus sitting up there, standing up with some other prophets, Elijah and Moses or somebody, right? And they said he just turned into this thing of light. And they call it the transfiguration. And they refer to halos and stuff like that, right, as being energy or evidence of energy that's coming from the man, right? They show Jesus with this powerful halo, you know. We all generate light, and our lives are like the divine seed. It ain't nothing like us. Listen, there is nothing like us. And when I say us, I'm talking about mankind in general, but I'm talking about you and I that have the hue, that have the high amount of melatonin in their skin. You know, you are a person that is adapted to higher amounts of energy. Your life force is energy. Remember when you was a child and it was like energy just running, you was hyped all up, running you all around, right? That's that life force. And all of us have an intense and stronger amount. That's why we're so rhythmic and energetic like we are, right? Our lives have tremendous value. Our lives are tied into the divine. And that's something that we need to recognize. I remember back in the day, they talked about us having soul power. And they didn't know how real they was and how close they was. Because we have a very powerful soul. Everybody don't got it like that.
They didn't realize, huh?
Right. So we have to begin to understand who we are and revisit the question of our value. Because your being is more valued than any other thing. No thing, no diamond, no car, no house, none of that can even compare to the fact that you're alive and you know it. Brother Salih, coming to you from the Zep Tepe Institute, peace be with you.